Have you ever wondered, like, how do I leverage relationships for greater growth? That's our discussion in this video training, why collaboration relationships matters. You could also call this joint venture relationships as well. It's essentially saying, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some things to consider. Perhaps you've never thought about collaboration. Perhaps you have, but you don't think it's that big of a deal. And I got this question recently. Hey, I hear a lot of talk about joint venture relationships, collaboration relationships. Is it really that important? Like, walk me through that, okay? So that's what we're going to do in this video training so that when you walk away from this, you can make a good, sound decision upon the direction you need to go in building your business coaching practice related to collaboration, okay? So think about it like leverage, right? I mean, making a silly but obvious statement. You got a very heavy rock. If you're doing some landscaping at home, and you've got a very heavy rock, you got choices to make. You can attempt to lift that rock by yourself, hard to do, or you can join forces with 2 or 3 other people. Now, stating a fair obviousness, clearly by leveraging the hands of others, many hands make light work, you're going to be able to truly get an opportunity to lift that heavy rock without breaking your back. Well, when you look at collaboration, and you look at working with other people, then you have an opportunity to, one, accelerate the relationships that you're going to grow, and also accelerate your coaching practice, okay? So it's very important. Why does it really matter? Well, you can get access to new audiences. You may have someone that you can do a relationship with that's going to give you access to their business paying clients, or they may give you access to their network. There's essentially a couple of ways that you can view collaboration. One is you may have somebody or know someone who, man, they are just extremely well networked. They're very trusted in the market. They know a lot of people. And if you got to know them and they introed you into a number of other people, it's just going to expand your network. And by the way, with a business coaching practice, one of our goals should always be to expand your network, okay? So you get access to new communities and audiences. Two, it's borrowed trust. Regardless if, let's say that you're working with an individual who owns a business who has B2B clients. It could be the digital marketing company. It could be the CPA, the financial planner, a number of different businesses, right? Well, when you're connecting and working with them and they're bringing you into the process to their clients, that's borrowed trust. I mean, you think about somebody, we'll use a digital marketing company. Let's say they have 50 clients, from people who they just do hosting for to full-blown web design and so on. Well, if you get access to their client load, you think about how long it would have taken you to get introduced and to get to know those 50 people versus you doing it by yourself. And that's what gives you faster growth. That's what gives you shared resources. That's how you're able to increase your impact, because you're collaborating with somebody else and they see that as value. And value absolutely should be a bedrock of one of the things that you do. Value first over selling all day long. When you're collaborating, you're able to do that. And you may ask, well then, okay, if I'm working with others to build my business, what's that collaboration look like? Like, what are the different types of collaboration? And there's quite a few. You could do one could be just a shared opportunity to make an investment for others to learn. So let's say that you collaborated with a digital marketing company, a CPA, and a business broker, right? And all three of you are going to do a workshop together. I'm going to invite my clients and prospects. They're going to invite theirs, so on. So let's say you get 30, 40, 50 people in a room, right? And everybody gets a 10-minute, talk or whatever, depending upon how you set it up. So there's an advantage where everyone's sharing their relationship load, because the broker's got something that he can do, which is eventually some of those people in that room, or even currently, want to sell the business. Some of those people needs tax services. Some of those people needs help strategically growing the profits and the revenues of the business. So when all three of you, actually I said digital marketing as well, didn't I? I lost my train of thought. Did you get the point? When you come together, all of you have different types of resources that you can provide. And now just doing one workshop by myself, where I might have 8, 9, 10 people, all of a sudden there's 30, 40, 50 people because you came together. Stating the obvious, but think about the power of you walking in, doing a 10-minute spiel, you getting connected with people like that, how that can have a profound impact on your business. Now then, think about doing that once a quarter. Think about doing that, 7 times a year. Whatever the number may be, it can have a dramatic effect upon the extension of everyone that you're getting to know. Could be working with those who have B2B clients to where you come in and provide value. And let's say that if it is that digital marketing company, or it's the CPA or whatever, where they're already providing a resource and a service to businesses, and you coming in and helping to elevate on strategy work for profitability and revenue increase, it helps everyone. And the average coach, by the way, if you don't know, charges about $2,000 per month for one-on-one coaching. Of course, in our community and the done-for-you resources that we have, we also offer group coaching as well. It's pretty cool. So you have different, potentially different ways that you can engage them, and then you share in the revenues. So if it was going to be, $2,000 per month, you're going to give that CPA or digital marketing company a portion of what you're earning. And again, there's a lot of different variables as to why and how much, but it's usually a percentage depending upon if they're involved, if they're not involved, if you're doing workshops together, and so on. So there's a lot of discussion that can be happen around there. Regardless, it could be an additional income stream for them by you coming in and helping elevate profits and revenues. And by the way, when they're elevating profits and revenues, they're going to get paid more as well on the services that they provide. Okay, so there's just hopefully ways for you to begin to think. Then there is the non-direct types of collaborations. So let's say that you connect with somebody who is a painting company, or even like a commercial carpet cleaning company, even a better one, commercial carpet cleaning company, where they have on retainer, they go in and they clean carpets could be in office buildings, it could be in businesses or whatever. So any type of service-based business that has reoccurring clients is a really good one. So it's kind of the same thing, where if they're giving you access to their clients, one of the ways to work with them, let's say that talking to you, if you're watching this via video, let's say you own that carpet cleaning company and you had 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 clients, whatever, and you made intros for me. And over time, I got to connect with some of those, and several of those became clients. If it was a one-on-one relationship, and I'm going to charge them $2,000 per month, what we typically see is that I'm going to give the coach, the carpet cleaning company, 50% of the very first month. Or you could give them the very first month, right? You think about if you could leverage that relationship and get 10 paid one-on-one clients, you don't think it's worth it? And let's say all of them lasted for a year. Some last longer, some will last less, just depending upon what the project is or what the needs are, right? So whether it's $1,000 or $2,000 that you're giving them per each one, that is just free money for them. Plus, it's another connection point. So just giving you examples, you have the direct collaboration opportunities. You have indirect, that being those who have business-to-business clients, but they're not helping them grow the business of any kind, but they're providing a service for them. It could be roofing. It could be concrete work, asphalt paving. Lots of businesses have to have their parking lots paved. So payroll services, point of sale companies. So don't kind of stifle your thinking that it just has to be this one or two. There's a number of ways that can be done. Then the question is, then how do I find the right partner? And this is where I see a lot of people make a mistake, where we're going out to build these relationships. You know somebody through your chamber of commerce or a past client or whatever, and we look at all that and we're like, oh, this would be perfect. Well, but it might not be for them. And that's the part that you do have to find out. Look, here's the reality. Not everybody's going to be all over a collaboration. They may not either just care. That's a fact. You may not have shown them the best part of the value in a way that makes it make sense as to why they would want to collaborate. So the point is, you got to go in and find out, and I'm making a baseline comment here. If we were to work together and collaborate, like, what matters to you? Because for some, I'll use my digital marketing company analogy. If they grow their business and spend more money in web development, in SEO work, whatever, that might be a huge win for them. Or they may not care as much about that, but developing a new revenue stream where they got 50% of the first month up front could matter to them. It just depends. That's why you don't want to just make a pitch. You want to learn and really find out what really makes them tick and why it matters. So you want to avoid just the assumption that just because you think it's a great idea, it may be a great idea, but it might not be the right fit for them. So that's the reason why you want to kind of walk through multiple structures to find out which structure is the best fit. Is additional revenue streams mattering to them? It would helping them with retention matter to them? If it's a service-based business, well, the retention part's going to be different because regardless of how you work with them, that's not going to affect their retention rate the same way. That's the reason why just working through figuring out different types of collaborations is going to matter, okay? So what are our steps to launching one? Well, first, we've got to build genuine relationship, right? That matters. We don't want to just go in and make a pitch. We want to build a genuine relationship, and that's going to look different for because we're all different, right? We're all creatures that are different. Some will crave more of a relationship than others. We just have to have good instinct to figuring out what that is. The second thing is then through that relationship and by learning what their needs are, we want to present a win-win scenario. So if you skip over this, which is another mistake to avoid, if you just skip over making a pitch and they go, nah, I'm not really interested, and you're like, why? This is great. Well, it may not be, again, the right fit for them. Then you want to get super clear on what that looks like. And here's what's really important. Remember, you're going to them with the potential collaboration relationship opportunity, but you've got to make it simple. You've got to make the heavy lifting appear very simple. I say appear, meaning you need to take on the load because, again, remember, you're leveraging them to get to relationships. That's going to grow your business. So you do not want to make this lopsided where it's clunky, it's hard, it's confusing, because they're probably not going to follow through. They're busy. They got a lot going on, right? And so you want to kind of test the waters in some cases. It's a very good approach to say, hey, here's kind of what a plan could look like, but let's do this. Rather than just sinking our teeth into this, let's start in just a small way to see how this works. More people will be open to that than not, okay? Then once you measure that, then you can walk through learning together to see how we can expand and explore. That could be a small workshop in the very beginning, or maybe the introduction just to a couple of people first before we kind of blow the whole thing wide open where it seems overwhelming and a little bit just too big to wrap their heads around, okay? There you go. Remember, from a spiritual perspective, and a biblical perspective, you look at things like Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, Ecclesiastes 4:9, two are better than one, 1 Corinthians 12, the body of Christ working in unity. Like collaborating with others is a biblical framework, and you can apply that to your business coaching practice to where you're able to leverage. And I tell you, and one thing I didn't mention, you don't want just one relationship because everybody's going to behave differently, and speed is going to be different depending upon the individual. Buy-in is going to be different from the individual. There's no doubt I would have, I don't know, somewhere if I started over, 8+ relationships in different ways to have consistency, because you're going to go through several months where you're not going to get much of anything from one relationship, but you're getting it from over here. So if you have a number of them, you're going to have consistent lead flow all the time. Just takes time to build those relationships, to establish the win-win, to follow through. But that's why you don't want just one or two. I'd have 8, 9, 10 of them, truthfully, in different ways. Some providing workshops, some providing direct access to clients, some just developing my network, getting exposure to other people, and so on. All right, there you go. Hope that added value to you. If you are coaching right now and you've not explored collaboration, I encourage you to do so. All right, until next time, take care.